We're now joined by Rajesh Bhatia, who's Group President and Chief Financial Officer at UFlex, to discuss more on the numbers going forward. Mr. Bhatia, good morning and thank you very much for joining us. This is Pavitra. Congratulations on a good set of earnings as well. I want to ask you, for the whole of FY23, what is the kind of margins that you see right now? Because we have seen raw material prices also cool down significantly. So do you think it can go up significantly from what we've seen in this quarter itself? Because usually you do clock in higher than this.
So quarterly basis, this quarter, there is still an impact of the higher raw material prices, and which is evident from YOY revenue growth of close to about 47% versus the volume growth of close to 16%. So even on a quarter-to-quarter basis, the prices are raw material prices are impacting, and that could be seen in the revenue growth versus the volume growth. So yes, of late, the prices have come down a bit, starting from the last week. But I think a clear impact would take its time to, to be known as to how sustainable they are. Yes, crude has come down, and so will be the polymer and the resin prices. But too early to, hazard a guess at this point in time.
So what could be the range of margins, sir, for the next 3 quarters? Historically, you've enjoyed EBITDA margins of more than 20% as well. This quarter, it's 11.5%.
No, this quarter, it is about 17.6% EBITDA margin for the... sorry, it is 17.9% this quarter. So we'll see between the range of 17 to 18% for FY23. That's what the expectation is. And the top line growth will drive up the absolute the profitability numbers. Aseptic packaging has done notably well during this quarter. We've seen about 120% growth on a year-on-year basis and about 60% growth even on a quarter-to-quarter basis. And the new facility that we installed at the beginning of the fiscal has performed exceptionally well, and the capacity utilization levels are above 90% for even after taking into account the expanded capacity over there. So that has done phenomenally well for us in this quarter. So the ramp up to the new capacity addition has been pretty good even in Q1, and hopefully we should be able to replicate those performances for the year as a whole, as the export markets are also showing a very, very promising sign over there.
Okay, Mr. Bhatia, then what is the full volume that you would look at for the full year? And what is the export division from this as well, if you can tell us that?
So export should be about 25%. Our capacity for the aseptic right now is 7 billion packs. We're trying to do some debottleneck in the plant to raise the capacity levels at the existing plant itself, and hopefully that should come our way. If that happens, I think we'll be good to do anything between 8 to 9 billion packs a year from next year onwards. And so without adding any sort of capital expenditure, if we are able to do that debottleneck and raise the capacity to about between 8 to 9 billion packs a year, and we assume even 90% capacity utilization levels, I think that will throw up good revenue as well as the profitability numbers, with about 25% contribution coming from the exports in that business.
This volume guidance, what did you say for FY23?
I said
7 billion packs.
Aseptic packaging, about 7 billion packs.
Okay, got it. And you would be operating at 100% capacity utilization with...
So as I said that, we are looking at, can we debottleneck the existing plant to make it between 8 to 9 billion packs? And that's working out well. So when I say then we'll eventually produce 7 billion packs, So obviously that capacity debottlenecking will have its role to play. And then on the existing declared capacity basis, it will constitute about 100% of the capacity utilization levels.
Okay, Mr. Bhatia, just one final question before we let you go. Can you take us through where the debt stands at right now? Last time we spoke to you, I think it was around 4,000 crores.
Yeah.
Where does the debt stand now?
So the debt level is at the same level what we had reported in March, except that because of Russia, that particular business, due to the huge currency fluctuations, so we had to report a higher debt number by about 160 crore, just because of the impact of that currency fluctuation in Russia, because from 75 ruble to a dollar, it became 125 and then came back crashing to about 58, 55 levels. So that impact has come into play, which has slightly increased the debt levels on an overall basis. But, there's except that there is no addition to any debt.
All right, sir, got it.